Batman Creature of the Night #2, Kurt Busiek and John Paul Leon. It was another fantastic issue. There was still some Alfred narration, but there was definitely less of it this time. So that issue of that
Okay.
text being awkward was less of a problem this time. We jump ahead. Bruce is college age. He's at Harvard of all places, and
Ooh,
he's a bit of a playboy. He's dating lots of girls, as you'd expect.
as you do.
But it's showing how he's sort of like helping with the Wainwright company. He's like turning it into a great place. He invests in a company called Pennyworth, just because he likes the name. But it pays off, and everyone's like, "Oh, you must be some little genius. You got us this big investment." And he's like, "I just kind of like the name
Yeah.
more than anything." But we find out he's been doing his thing where he's been helping this big demon Batman to like fight crime and all the rest of it. But it starts to focus on how he's trying to do things in other ways, like he wants to set up a foundation that helps other victims of crime, and he convinces like Uncle Alfred, like, hey, can we start this maybe just with one person? And the example he picks is a girl named Robin, who lost her parents,
Okay.
and it's just the idea of like giving her help, and he actually with the Batman demon, he like tries to find the culprits and make sure he catches them to maybe give her some closure. Because even though he's given a lot of financial support, it like she's still like broken by it. She's still like struggling like
Right.
from a therapeutic angle, and he tries to help that way. And he makes a point of never meeting her because he's like, it's a teenage girl. I'm like a college age guy. It'll look suspicious and weird. People make
Yeah,
it.
look bad.
But she eventually comes to see him at a fundraiser like party. They're celebrating some big deal, and she wants to thank him. And she's like, "Hey, I think I want to quit. Not go down the college path. I want to help people. Like And he's like, "Oh, maybe I could set something up, and you could if we're going to make this program bigger, maybe you could help with that." So I like the whole idea. It's playing with the idea that he brings on a Robin, but it's not to like fight crime. It's to help with the charity, and it's to help with the helping other victims. It's a nice little spin on it.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's. I mean, that's. I always kind of liked in New Frontier, like he brings in Robin to help ground him
mm,
because he's kind of lost his way. And here it's kind of he's kind of doing not the same way that he's lost his way, but it's another somebody like him.
yeah,
Y- that's a nice
it's a
pairing.
really nice touch. But some of the big plot developments that happen in this though is that Officer Gordon is actually suspicious of him because the newspapers aren't talking about this demon bat because it's too like unbelievable. But
Right.
at one point, when he goes to see Gordon for case reasons, he says, maybe we could use a Batman. And Gordon like grabs his arm and is like, "Do you know something?" As if like the
Uh-oh.
police know about this Bat character. They're concerned about
Right.
it. So he's suspicious of him because he brings up how that's this big deal that just went through. That only happened because the boss at this other company got arrested for these things, and it turned out to be a frame job. And he's like, "What?" And the big reveal at the end, the big twist at the end of this issue, is that a lot of the people that this big demon Batman has been putting away, it's been fake. He's been planting evidence. He's been implicating people who aren't actually
Oh
guilty.
snap!
There's a dark side to this. So I actually don't know where this is going to go. I'm really excited to see what this is going to explore. But what I think this issue does, it sets up the idea that there's the Batman stuff that's kind of unhealthy and him like dealing with this inside, like the dark side of him. But it's also how much help he can be in the real world, like setting up charity, setting up things. It's almost setting up the
Right.
idea that Bruce Wayne in this context, or Bruce Wainwright, might be better as a politician, like trying to help that way. But because Alfred keeps telling him, because he wants to hire this company, because keep in mind it started in the 60s, so this is actually the 80s now we're in, and
Okay.
this company is developing new modems, which at the time obviously was like early days.
Right.
But he's like, "Oh, this will be the future. This will be a big thing. We're going forward," and he wants to do this. He wants to invest in this, and Alfred's like skeptical. He's like, "Hey, like this company's run by a black man, and this like that's why they keep getting turned down. It's not because their business plan is bad. It's because
Man.
this is a risk." And this is actually the first time where Bruce kind of implies that he knows he's gay. He's like, "Hey, really? Like we're going to like discriminate kind of thing," and they go along with it, and it all kind of pays off. But it's the idea that and Alfred keeps fighting him, even though he's someone who should want the world to change because he's someone he's a minority essentially. He
Right.
he keeps saying, "No, you can't just like force the world to change into what you want it to be." And he's like, "No, but we should try. We should do things. We should try and make it better." So it's that conflict of we should fight to make the world better, even if it does seem impossible. We shouldn't just give in and accept that it's the way it is. But at the same time, is the Batman side of things unhealthy? Is he like? So there's some interesting stuff there, and I wonder if we do get like the origin of this Batman thing and where it comes from. We also see that he
Right.
talks to it, like he goes up to the roof and he actually talks to it, and this Batman
Uh-huh.
demon kind of talks back to him, and it's kind of just short sentences, and it's like, he's concerned about him, but that's about it. So really interesting. I'm really curious to see where it goes next. And of course, Jean-Paul Leon's art is phenomenal.